not really opinions. They're willing to not have any opinions on anything else other than feeding narcissism, feeding this career that seems insurmountable, and they adopt these liberal sensibilities and ideologies, and they don't necessarily do it because they thought these things through. I mean, occasionally you got your Mark Ruffalo type characters really all in on a lot of things,
right?
But most of them are not.
Right.
Most of them are just nonsense people.
Joe Rogan has taken direct aim at Hollywood, blasting the industry for its fake morals and empty promises. The comedian and podcast giant says he's sick of the hypocrisy and the toxic influence Hollywood pushes onto young, impressionable people. This isn't Rogan tossing out casual remarks. This is him tearing the system down completely. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it.
Think outside of the norm, say it in like whispered hushed tones. There's a certain ideology that's attached to that city, and it's not logical. It's a kooky, wacky, completely insulated left-wing view of the world, and they enforce it with an iron fist. And if you're not on that team, you don't get booked for things. You don't get picked for things. If you're someone who has conservative leanings, or you talk about there's projects you're never going to get.
And here's the truth. Hollywood has built a strict mold that everyone is expected to fit into. Step outside that mold. Refuse to play by their rules, and you're instantly thrown out, treated like an enemy without hesitation. To survive, you're forced to use approved language, believe approved ideas, and perform exactly the script of woke conformity. The sad part is that conservatives are the ones hit the hardest, because their values collide directly with Hollywood's ideology. Just compare Gina Carano with Pedro Pascal. Both made controversial comments. But look at how differently they were treated. Carano was humiliated and canceled, while Pascal walked away untouched. The double standard is obvious. The hypocrisy is undeniable. And it shows that Hollywood's mold isn't about fairness. It's about control.
Trying to get a recording deal, whatever it is they're desperately trying to do. The last thing they want to do is do something and talk about something that's going to politically get them at odds with the people that run the studios. So no one does. Everybody just follows the same sort of wacky ideology that these people take from the universe.
Plenty of people inside Hollywood secretly hate this narrative being shoved on them, but they stay quiet. Why? Because saying the wrong thing could destroy their career overnight. The culture of fear runs so deep that most people are forced to repeat the approved philosophy and bow to political correctness. Step out of line, and you're blacklisted before you can even say the word canceled. Even big names with years of success often stay silent because they know the mob could turn on them next. But it's the newcomers who suffer most. Young actors, writers, and crew desperate for their first big break are pressured into swallowing the propaganda whole, terrified that if they don't nod along, they'll never work again. Hollywood isn't just making movies anymore. It's producing obedience.
Really speaking, people come to Hollywood if they have an acting dream. That's the big reason why, right? That's like probably the number one. The way this system works is you go there and then you go into a room like this one. So like maybe we could be the casting directors, and someone would come in and you go, "Hey Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you move from?" And there's like a smugness to it and a weirdness to it because they have power over you. And they're like, "Well, I'm from New Jersey, but been acting. I did a bunch of plays and blah blah blah, and I'm out here trying it out." Okay, Mark. Well, you're going to read for the role of Ted.
Hollywood executives and producers hold enormous power, and they know it. They dangle fame in front of desperate young actors, then push them into humiliating and degrading situations for their own gain. These new faces often walk in with hope, dignity, and dreams of success. But by the time they fought their way through the system, many are left broken, traumatized, and scarred for life. Every so often, a horrifying story leaks out, but those stories are only scratching the surface. And it makes you wonder, if this is what we're allowed to hear, what darker, more disturbing secrets are still hidden behind studio doors?
PA will read off a thing. "Well, Ted, I don't even know if we can do this, man. It just seems like it's all wrong." You're like, "Come on, man, we can do it." And so you're in this, I've done this so many times, you're in this like completely non-natural environment. It's usually a conference room in a production office. And you're in this non-natural environment with these smug people that have this massive amount of power over.
There's no doubt Hollywood has massive influence, especially when it comes to shaping opinions. Politicians know this, which is why every election season, they parade celebrities in front of cameras, hoping their star power will sway voters. Take the last election. A long list of Hollywood stars lined up to endorse Kamala Harris, rehearsing their polished speeches like they were reading from a script. And yet, she still lost. Why? Because people are waking up. The public no longer trusts pampered elites who preach morality on stage while pocketing millions behind the scenes. Once, a celebrity's endorsement could sway an election. Now, it barely makes a difference. The glitter is fading, and America is starting to see Hollywood for what it really is. A stage built on lies.
Like, please choose me, please choose me. And no, they didn't choose me. And so you're trying to be friends with the people who choose people. You're trying to get them into parties, trying to introduce them to other people. You're trying to be around other famous people.
Getting anxiety.
So this person's been chosen. I got to be around the chosen person. We go to the chosen person's party. Maybe we can get chosen.
Joe Rogan breaks down just how messy Hollywood really is. The truth? It's uglier than most people realize. Everyone in Tinseltown is fighting to climb to the top, and in that fight, nothing is off limits. People will say anything, repeat the right slogans, or push ideas that don't even make sense, just to stay in the club. And the wild part? Half of them don't even believe what they're saying. They nod along, clap on cue, and virtue signal their way through interviews. Not because they care, but because it's the only way to keep climbing the ladder. That's the hypocrisy Rogan is calling out. An industry built on image and illusion. In Hollywood, it's not about truth. It's about survival. And the cost of survival is selling out your
Side of that part of the country is doing things that you think other people will like. Imagine a hellscape of a world where everyone in the business, in one business, everyone is liberal. How is that possible? How is that possible? How is it possible when the country is basically divided 50-50? It's not possible.
The Hollywood net keeps expanding, and social media has taken it to a whole new level. Now, it's not just actors trying to break in. It's anyone with a phone and Wi-Fi chasing 15 seconds of fame. And in this race for attention, people humiliate themselves, sell their dignity, and chase whatever crazy trend is hot that week. The result? Hollywood has turned into a circus. Instead of talent, we get noise. Instead of creativity, we get desperate stunts. It's a non-stop parade of bizarre, fame-hungry characters who don't even realize they're clowns. And sadly, this chaos is exactly what fuels the machine, because the crazier it gets, the more eyeballs it attracts.
It's not really opinions. They're willing to not have any opinions on anything else other than feeding narcissism, feeding this career that seems insurmountable, and they adopt these liberal sensibilities and ideologies, and they don't necessarily do it because they thought these things through. I mean, occasionally you got your Mark Ruffalo type characters really all in on a lot of things, but most of them are not. Most of them are just nonsense people.
Yes, there are conservatives in Hollywood, but they're often sidelined, ignored, and shut out by the liberal elite. They rarely land the big roles or the massive deals. They're kept in the shadows while liberal stars are handed the spotlight, the red carpet, and endless press coverage. This created a lopsided system where success looks like it only belongs to one side. That's why so many young actors who want fame and fortune end up leaning left. For them, it's not always about personal belief. It's about survival. They see where the money and attention flow, and they follow it, even if it means abandoning their real values to win Hollywood's approval.
Nonsense people will get on stage and they'll say, like at the Academy Awards or at the Grammys, they'll talk about, this is what we have to do. We have to make sure that we support this and that. And it's
like that Imagine video where they all sang.
That was perfect.
Perfect. I'm like, who asked for this? We never asked you for this.
Perfect. Perfect encapsulation.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when he called Hollywood's elites nonsense people. And honestly, he's right. Celebrities will say or do anything to stay relevant in an industry that spits people out the moment they step out of line. Relevance is everything in Tinseltown, and if that means repeating every trendy slogan, then so be it. That's why the Oscars, once a celebration of great films, have turned into a political stage. Instead of honoring cinema, it's become a platform for speeches that sound more like campaign ads and acceptance remarks. The hypocrisy is obvious. Millionaires talking about injustice while dripping in designer outfits. Rogan's point is simple. Hollywood isn't selling art anymore. It's selling ideology. And the Oscars, they're just a commercial.